Check it out, there's lights on the gazebo. I don't know if they've always been here and they just haven't been turning them on, or if they're new. But tonight's the first night I've seen them. We were just here last night. There's no lights on here last night. I don't remember if there was lights hanging. Yeah, I keep having nightmares about him and his backyard situation, because this little guy doesn't have a fenced-in backyard anymore. It's not for a lack of fencing, it's just a lack of wherewithal to live up to the familiar obligation to protect him from himself and from other animals. I don't know. Part of why we took that expensive ass house was because it had a fenced-in yard. I mean, he never gets left out there, you know, where, like, you know, he'd need a fenced-in yard to walk around in and be left out. Because, well, you just don't leave a Pomeranian out in your yard. It's a good way for something to happen to it or for it to come up missing. But, well, he just keeps wanting to run out of them openings all the time. And if Lisa lets him out and doesn't put his leash on him or whatever, and he goes running out on them openings, she's not going to be able to stop him. At least not till she gets her knee fixed and heals from the operation. Then she'll be able to catch him, possibly. I don't know. He can cover a lot of ground pretty quick if he sets his mind to it. So we're sitting here smoking a combo doobie. Just enjoying the night. It's about 63. You got a sweater on, my Kush hat, my, you know, wintertime hat. And I looked a little bit for my long johns, but I couldn't find them easy, so I just gave up. Put my jeans on. It's not really cold. It's like 62 or some shit. It's just nipply. I'm warm enough to sit here and enjoy the night a little bit with my little dog. He likes to come hang out. Oh, there's people with a dog, so I'm going to pick him up and hide his eyes. Trying to figure out where they went. He's trying to figure out where they went. They're right down there. You see these silhouettes. It's the same ones with skateboards and two dogs. One of them was a puppy. This is last night. I think it was last night. We seen them. Then we seen them come back through without the puppy. Without one of the people. So yeah, it's about 8:44 p.m. 8:40 actually. It was about 8:30 a second ago when I had this on. It's a nice night. Just waiting for my hottie to come strolling into my life. She'll probably never leave my side once she gets up next to me. I'm ready for her. I'm gonna have my own place pretty soon, Wednesday. She can come hang out with me. So it's a perfect time for a miracle. I'd love to get a miracle where I got a lot of money and I have to honestly say to them guys, well, I can't legally take the place because I can't stay on SSI anymore. I make too much money, or I have too much money, or whatever, you know. Be like a golden weekend, you know, between now and Tuesday for something to manifest where I don't have to be some poor old dude getting shoved into a senior apartment where old white people are picking each other apart and shit. You gotta get your dog license because they might try and get your dog took away. I don't want to be around people like that, you know. Now, if I hadn't got my dog licensed and somebody had made trouble for my dog and me, it would have been the least of their worries, because the place would just burn the fuck down mysteriously, you see. Because, well, I don't put up with that kind of shit from old white devils no more. It's like, fuck you, old white devil. Look at the world because of you. Because you were so concerned about you. And now look where you're at. Yeah. Because ain't nobody care about enough about you to have you come stay with them. That's what you did. Yeah. And all your family's like you. You living in an old folks fucking facility and shit. That's where I'm headed. I didn't sow the seed for it. Maybe I did. I don't know. It's alright. I don't care. I'll do whatever is the next step. Fuck it. Okay, you see how to have the lyrics, I have to have it there and there. I have to have two windows open with the same page. Yeah. What you're looking at there is sunglasses at night. Okay. And I was doing it earlier really good. Tuned down to D and down an A minor. And then I gave myself a enema butt coffee with a whole bunch of tincture in it. This is an old bottle. It's got a little bit left in it. But from a new bottle, I get like 3 syringes full. And well, it got my dick really high and put my upper insides to sleep and shit. And, so yeah, then I went for the walk, and there's that footage from the gazebo. And then I came back and I sat down with these lyrics in my guitar, and it's like, and I couldn't even touch it vocally because, well, you know, the inside of my body's like fucking high. You see, so I got like no push, no diaphragm, nothing. And I usually don't right after doing an enema, you know, the same night. And also, I just sat here and ate a big bowl of Frosted Flakes. So you know how it is if you eat dairy and then you try to sing. That's why at the ice cream social you don't eat the ice cream till after you're done with your set. So got quite a bit left in these. Yeah, every time I go out could be the time that I run into my new girl. She's gonna manifest. Get my own place. I have mixed feelings about it because of where it's at and shit. You know, I even looked at it on a satellite just to see how much walking's entailed to get to any place I'm gonna ask them, might be able to hang out and enjoy. And then it's right there in the, you know, just all the, I don't know. I would rather find a place for a couple months, maybe 3 at the most. You know, paying the same amount, well, a little bit more. I'd give up $300. Plus, you know, I could contribute food if my food stamp benefit stays up like it is. Stuff like that, and you know, my handyman abilities, teach guitar, whatever. But it's hard to find something like that around here, you know. Because, well, part of the reason I want to stay around here for this couple months is because I want to be able to hang out with my dog. You know, so if I have to take the place just to be able to do that, then I guess that's what I have to do. Because I get him during the day, you see. And then he goes back with them at night. So, that shared custody, you know, the cats I can't do nothing about really yet until I get me a house, nice big house, hopefully with some property around it, so like they can go out in the yard and shit and enjoy the place. So I know we have a lot of weird shit happening out there. I'm concerned for those of y'all who are traveling in those areas. And I know some of you, you actually should avoid going to an area where they made it law, if you're not going to stand down, you know what I'm saying? If you're not going to comply, then you should, I don't know, it's like I just picture some entities going and getting confronted and getting mouthy with these entities that they've already been shot up. And they're already compliant, and they're robotized and shit. So it's like, there's just no telling what could happen to you when you cross paths with them. So it's like, it's kind of like, when you cross paths with, something in Mexico or somewhere like that, you just never know what could happen. But y'all know that the UN lost its authority in the eyes of God when they participated in kidnapping them Bosnian kids and using them as sex slaves and torturing them to death and shit. And there's actually a movie about it. I think it's called like The Whistleblower or something, where a woman wouldn't quit exposing it until it got addressed. And then it's like they made the movie, but the movie doesn't depict near as horrifying as the shit was. And it doesn't depict, they like danced around that some of the Bosnian kids were black, abused by whites, just like they tried to make sure that there was hardly any, if any, black kids in the groups. It was like you didn't see any horrific scenes with any black children being tortured by white dudes, you see. But there was a couple scenes where you could see how horrific it was. They had white girls portraying it. So yeah, but you gotta remember it was Bosnia, so. So all those entities who were in the UN, and all those entities who did that, and all the entities who created the demand for those sex slaves, those young children, and all the entities who touched them, it's like now they get to die and get time looped as them kids. And then they get to get time looped to slaves to repay back the mechanism, any money that went into their existence, diapers even, baby food. And then they get spiritually executed to never get born to perpetuate any of it. The timeline gets backed up, restored, restarted. We have a new timeline. Sans those contaminants and others like them. Those who are perpetuating this thing that's happening out there. So, we're dealing with a lot of welfare phantoms on the planet. The UN is going to step in and do some more horrific shit as well. That's what they do. That's been their MO. And they've always done it. That's why they are what they are. And people don't understand it. They think that, the help is on the way. Last thing you want to see on a truck is UN. Last thing you want to see is one of them dudes. That's help you don't want. Kind of like pussy you don't want, You end up with crabs or something that make your dick fall off. Turn your dick green, make it rot. Some shit like that. Some of the stories, man, that old dudes can tell you. As it turns out, they're fucking true. And you think, wow, that crazy old bastard, that drunken old fool, talking about that girl like that. And you find out, damn, years later, damn, he was right about that girl. Homie lost his dick to her. It's like shit. Yeah. Hey, I got a good old cheesy joke for you guys before we go out. There was these bitches lined up, get into heaven, and they had to check in, you know, and they had to tell why they died, and they were all given legitimate excuses right up until they get to this one bitch. He's like, hey, what'd you die of? She's like, herpes. She's like, well, you don't die of herpes. She's like, you get that shit to Leroy, and you do. Oh, shit. The way I told it, I got to the punchline really quick. Because there's no need to draw it out for no more reward than is there. Yeah, that one is really old. It's like older than a lot of you guys. It used to be told by a bunch of old people when we were kids and shit. You did shit to Leroy, and you do. I swear to God, it sounds like people walking around the house in here, even though there's nobody here but me and the cats and the dog. And the dog's right there. But he don't trip out about spirits or ghosts or nothing. He'll just look at them and like watch them like he's watching a bug, even though there's nothing flying. And sometimes he'll wag his tail. You see. Alrighty. So, yeah, I might post just a little bit of one of those tries. I made it all the way through it once, and then, you know, all the other times it's just like, you know, I don't know, I kept getting distracted by the fact that, hey, you know, I'm having to try to do this when I didn't have to try earlier, you know. I just did it. So it's like, if I just wait till tomorrow, you know, and not eat a bunch of cereal and shit and dope up my insides with tincture before I try to do it, I'll do it just as good as I did today earlier. So it's like, you know, I'm not even going to put it out like, if I give y'all a sneak peek at it, it's like I'm not going to put it out where it's like it's a video, because it's not. It's like, I could do it a whole lot better. I might just put a little piece of it just to let you see, hey, wow, it's like, this sounds totally different than, but it kind of has a cool thing going to it, you know. If I can pull it off with the guitar and the vocal up against each other just right. And it's hard to do it with the strings tuned down to a D because they're really sloppy. It's like, it's real easy to hit the strings too hard and you're flapping them against the frets, you know, because you're just getting too much projection. Blah, 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 blah. You see? So it's like, believe it or not, it makes it easier to do bends and all that shit, right? But it makes it harder to, like, punch out a solid rhythm. And then I got electric strings on that, so you got the G string as an unwound string. It's pretty cool for some shit, but it kind of, when you're playing an acoustic, it kind of almost offsets you a little bit. It's almost like a distraction. It's kind of like, you know, it's in the back of your mind, kind of like you're walking with a piece of sand or something in your shoe, but it's not aggravating enough to stop and get rid of it, you know. So you just keep walking with it there, and it's in the back of your mind. Well, that's kind of what it's like having a unwound G string on an acoustic, even though it's got an electric neck. What you're dealing with is projection and sound, and for some reason, a wound string on an acoustic, it does something for taking the effort out of getting the sound out of that string. I don't know what the weird thing is about a G string, but yeah. Dumb music talk that nobody cares about. I know other guitar players might care and be like, they might have noticed, yeah, you know, I noticed when I put electric strings on my acoustic, it's like, it is kind of like that, like, you know, you got a piece of sand in your shoe or something. It's, you know, it's like you gotta keep playing. I mean, because, well, till the strings are old, you want to invest in changing them. I had them strings sitting up for a long time. It's like, and then when I broke a string and I still hadn't bought none, I decided to put those on it. And I got another set of even slinkier strings for after that. And by the time I make it through those two pairs of strings, I should have bought me a pair of strings, a set of strings that are actually good for the guitar, a little bit heavier. so you can beat on it a little bit more and not have so much fret slap. Alright, y'all, deep and down. One's apple fritters and the other one's peaches and cream. I guess they're not too bad. They're potent. Alright.
Sunglasses and so I can watch you weaving with your storylines. And I wear my sunglasses and so I can keep track of the visions in my eyes. While she's deceiving me, it cuts my security.